Have you thought about how you would like to die? In bed at age 92, surrounded by your family and friends? Maybe you'll die at age 75, hiking your favorite trail. Or perhaps you will take your final breath at age 19, crushed behind your steering wheel, surrounded by the screams of your family and friends. Driving too fast increases the chance you will perish in your car. But speeding is widespread and often viewed as normal behavior. I will argue that Arizona should expand its installation and use of photo radar speed enforcement equipment to help reduce the number of deaths and injuries caused by speeding. In 2008, the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety published research about the ongoing testing of speed camera enforcement in Scottsdale along an 8-mile stretch of the Loop 101. In the report, they wrote, "The present study provides strong evidence that highly visible automated speed enforcement can substantially reduce speeding violations on urban freeways." In a separate study carried out in Maryland, the Institute said that they found that the cameras resulted in a 19% reduction in the likelihood that a crash would involve a fatality or an incapacitating injury. Today, I will present information from a variety of studies. The first finds that speeding will generally not help save you time. Then I will present a practical solution called speed camera corridors. Finally, from 2 different studies, I will present the results of a highly successful automated speed enforcement demonstration program carried out in Arizona. The National Center for Health Statistics reports that the leading cause of death for 18 to 24-year-olds is motor vehicle collisions. I hope to convince you of 2 things. First, that driving fast is dangerous. Second, photo radar speed enforcement can make the roads safer for us all. In the state of Arizona, the most common driver violation is driving too fast for the conditions. Arizona Department of Transportation statistics show that annually, on average, more than 20,000 people are killed or injured in speeding-related accidents, and the number is rising. In examining the trade-offs drivers make, one study from the University of Sydney found that speeding saved on average 26 seconds per day, or 3 minutes per week. Among its conclusions, the study says, evidence suggests that drivers do not consider the trade-off between time savings and the value of a life. Studies are also providing an accumulation of data that prove that speed enforcement using photo radar is saving lives. One study for the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety reports, more than 7 years after it began, the speed camera program in Montgomery County, Maryland, has led to long-term changes in driver behavior and substantial reductions in death and injuries. Drivers are forced to slow down or pay large fines. The reduction in speed reduces the number and severity of crashes, resulting in a corresponding fall in traffic casualties. The report goes on to explain that the county's results have been significantly improved by creating speed camera corridors. These corridors contain a mix of both fixed and mobile speed cameras. Drivers, being unable to predict where speed cameras might be located, know that the chance of being cited for speeding is likely. The potential for photo radar speed enforcement to save lives has also been thoroughly researched and tested on the Loop 101 in Scottsdale. This was the first test of photo radar on a high-speed urban freeway in the country. A report funded by the City of Scottsdale and the Arizona Department of Transportation makes a detailed statistical analysis of the data collected. In it, the authors from Arizona State University analyzed the 3 phases of the operation. During Phase 1, a 31-day period that began in January of 2006, drivers exceeded the speed by at least 11 miles per drivers exceeding the speed by at least 11 miles per hour faster than the 65-mile-an-hour speed limit were issued only warnings. Phase 2 ran from February to October 2006. During this period, drivers were mailed citations for driving 76 miles per hour or faster. Phase 3 shut the cameras down, but continued to monitor driving speeds. Despite the brief period of Phase 2, 244 days, the authors of the study estimate that the total number of injury crashes were reduced by 48%. Despite the apparent success of the program, it was discontinued in 2010. Critics claim that photos taken represent an infringement on privacy, or felt the program was simply a revenue-generating scheme. Besides the obvious safety improvements, proponents of photo enforcement point out that the roads are being monitored are public roads and thus subject to public law enforcement. There is an illness that contributes to the death of hundreds of Arizona citizens every year. Like most illnesses, such as Ebola or the flu, we should be avoiding the behaviors that put us at risk and devoting significant resources to the most promising cures. In the end, speeding is a behavioral issue, and speed camera enforcement corridors has proven to be one of the cures. To test its success, I would only ask, does the presence of photo radar slow you down to the speed limit? I rest my case.